Golf is more expensive than ever right now, and as a club fitter, I've watched prices skyrocket year after year, and honestly, at this point, it's getting a little bit out of hand. Just to give you an idea, before I filmed this video, I went on Titleist website and just kind of played around with some of their more expensive drivers, and I could build a driver if I really wanted to that pushes $1,500. That's one club. For that price, you could build an entire bag of pretty decent used clubs. But here's the good news. You don't have to spend anywhere near that to get a driver that performs. There are some great value options out there under $250, and in today's video, I'm gonna be ranking my top 5 picks. These are drivers that I'd actually recommend to real golfers who want performance without breaking the bank. And quick tip before we jump in, when you're looking at any used club, make sure you're looking up the durability and the warranty situation for that driver. Most companies will only warranty clubs that have been released in the past 2 to 2.5 years. So if it's outside that range, they're not gonna warranty it. So make sure you're getting a club that has really good durability. Now with keeping that in mind, let's jump into the list. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the Callaway Rogue ST Max, also known as the George Bryan driver. A 2022 release, this driver really was the best of both worlds. It was one of the most forgiving drivers of the year, but it was also low spinning enough to where your better players with faster swing speeds could still bomb it out there with the best of them. And also, like I said, it's well known for being in the bag of one half of the Bryan Bros, as George Bryan still has this driver in his bag. And he's one of the best drivers on planet Earth, so if you don't want to take my word for it, take his. And you can find these drivers used in pretty good condition for right around that $225 to $250 mark. And before we go any further in this video, this is something that I need to say. I didn't even actually think about saying this before I started filming the video, but I do need to say it. Make sure you're getting the right shaft for your swing speed, because you can have the best driver head in the world that suits your game the best, is best for your swing speed and your swing tempo and all that stuff. But if the shaft is completely wrong, the driver is not gonna work. So whether it's used club fitting, getting on a simulator, whatever it may be, figure out what your club head speed is and go from there as far as shaft. As a general guideline, this is what I would do. If you're over 105 miles an hour of club head speed with your driver, that's when you should be looking for extra stiff. And then if you're over 115, you can be looking at, exotic stuff like the Ventus, Tour AD stuff, Diamante whiteboard and blue board and all that stuff. But over 105 miles an hour, you should be looking extra stiff. 95 to 105 miles an hour, you should be looking for just regular stiff. 85 to 95, you should be looking for regular. And then from there on down, you should be looking senior, ladies, A-flex, all in the same category. So yeah, I just want to make that known, but jumping back into it, with number 4, we're going to have the Titleist TSR 2 or TSR 3. These can be found right around that $200 to $225 mark, and that's crazy value considering this is only one generation old from Titleist. Now, Titleist releases drivers every 2 years versus every year, so this is a 2022 release, but these drivers are still up there with the modern technology. You're not going to lose out on anything from a technology standpoint, and they really are still good drivers. The TSR 2 is going to be a little more forgiving and a little bit more stable through impact, so it's going to be geared more towards your higher handicap that struggles with consistency and maybe needs a little bit of help on those off-center hits. The TSR 3 is going to be for your better ball striker. It's going to be a little bit tougher to handle, but it is going to go a little bit farther and be a little bit less spinny when struck well. It also features a movable weight for a little bit more adjustability. So overall, yes, the TSR lineup definitely cracks this list. Probably, in my opinion, the best value on this list. Number 3 is going to be the Cobra King F9, and you can find them anywhere between $200 and $250 used. Released in 2019, it was groundbreaking in terms of ball speed and distance, making it one of the best drivers of the year. For years, Cobra drivers were more geared towards distance than anything else, but in 2019 with the F9, they really hit it on the head. It was about 1.5 miles an hour faster in terms of ball speed compared to its closest competitor, and in the world of golf drivers, that's a pretty big deal. Now, this was a 2019 release, so I'm not going to sit here and act like the technology in this driver matches up with what we have today. However, for the time, it was really, really good, and the technology still holds up today. It might not be the best today, but it still holds its own. Moving on to number 2, we have maybe the longest driver in recent memory, the TaylorMade SIM. This thing was a freaking rocket launcher. Like I said, one of the longest drivers in recent memory, and you can find used ones out there for right around $240, $250 bucks. That's a steal. Now, is it the most forgiving driver out there? Absolutely not. It's not even close. But it is one of the longest out there, one of the lowest spinning. I remember when I used this for just a little bit, I hit some of the longest drives that I have ever hit. I also missed a lot of fairways. Not that I hit a lot of fairways to begin with, but you get the point. So if you already struggle with accuracy off the tee, this might not be the best option for you, I'm not gonna lie. But if you're looking for a little bit more distance off the tee and you're already really consistent as far as finding fairways, definitely check out the SIM. And coming in at number 1, basically the opposite of the SIM, but my overall pick as far as used drivers on the market, doesn't matter the year, doesn't really matter the price, I have the Ping G425. And here's my reasoning. I will say new ones still go for over $300, $350, but you can find used ones out there in pretty good condition, right around 250 bucks. And in my opinion, that is the one that you should go with. These were at the time the most forgiving driver on the market, bar none. And in today's market, they're still probably a top 5, top 6 most forgiving driver out there. Now, they are not the longest driver out there. They're definitely not short, but you're also not gonna maximize your distance with these drivers. However, I promise you will keep the ball in play more often with this driver than just about any other driver out there. I feel like the high majority of amateurs out there should be looking for more forgiveness rather than more distance, and that is exactly what this driver delivers. Now, there is one downside to these drivers, and that is the sound. They do sound like a tin can. They sound like, yeah, like an empty tin can. They don't sound good. They sound hollow. However, if you can get yourself to get over that sound, these are, in my opinion, the best drivers on this list. Now, I do have one honorable mention, and that's gonna go to the second generation of the TaylorMade M2, so the black and the neon green one, not the gold one. However, the gold one's not bad either. I will say this is a pretty overall good driver. It doesn't really shine in distance or forgiveness, but it does pretty well in both categories, and you can find them a little bit cheaper, right around 150 bucks used, so it's a little bit cheaper than anything else on this list. But yeah, that would be my honorable mention. Great option. So there you have it. My top 5 drivers under $250. The Ping G425 takes the cake because of its forgiveness and reliability. But honestly, any one of these drivers could fit your game best depending on what you want. Also, I have partnered with Primo. I have my own discount code for you guys. It is going to be AKS15. It'll be in the corner of this video. Yeah, Primo. Great apparel, great hats, great shirts, great joggers. I will never wear another pair of golf joggers again. Yeah, super excited to be partnered with those guys, so make sure you guys are checking them out. Also, if you guys enjoyed this video and might want me to cover, you know, woods, irons, wedges, putter, just the rest of the bag in general, make sure to let me know in the comments. Hit that like, subscribe button. I appreciate you guys watching. The support has been unreal on these last few videos, so I appreciate it and salute to you guys. And until next time, peace out.